What's going on, Jerome's? It's a beautiful Victory Monday for the Minnesota Vikings. Only the second time this year, but first of many. And by celebrating Victory Monday, Purple for the Win, our store down below, Producer Alley, running a sale next 2 days. Use promo code WINNING. You get 15% off your entire order. Also free shipping on anything, so check it out down below. So, Minnesota Vikings put another crooked number in the win column, and we got a bunch of random stuff on Monday for the Vikings news dump. It's actually football things. It's crazy. As you're taking a dump. There you go. First up, speaking of dump, so I miss the days of Kirk Chains. I understand that the Vikings haven't won enough on the road, even though that's the only place that they've gotten their wins. But the Vikings, I mean, Kirk, I understand he's sponsored by Kohl's now, but I mean, come on, man. Like you look like an extra from Jurassic Park. Like you should be guarding the Raptor paddock. I don't like him, man. But yeah, Kirk at the dish wearing the dad shirt. It's like you're attending your kid's christening. Nah. Out here, man. But he did drop the nugget that the Vikings channeling Creed. So Kramer, Strib, go. I wonder why multiple Vikings players were humming "Higher" by Creed in the post-game locker room. Ooh, Kramer told on himself. He knows Creed higher. Although we've been over this. Like, I actually like Creed. And I understand that they get like a negative connotation, sort of like Nickelback, but I like Creed in high school. You know, Scott Stapp, like, sure, maybe he had a Messiah complex. Yes, the drummer was great. Mark Tremonti on guitar. It's good, man. I mean, Human Clay, come on. I won. But Kirk Cousins said, quote, "The Rangers have been playing Creed, and they're rolling in the playoffs." Thanks for reminding us. We've been listening to it in the lifts a little bit here and there. And there was a video like in the off season where they were lifting at TCO, and Bradbury was playing higher, Creed higher in the background. So I don't know if they're just playing the hits. I don't know if they're doing deep cuts. I don't know. But the Vikings at 2-4 are creating their own prison for the season. But at least they're going in the right direction. Speaking of which, so Kirk Cousins, Kirk's going to get a lot of flack for his performance on Sunday. Only 181 yards passing, 21-31, 1 touchdown. Now, the interception, which Edmonds came up with, was actually ruled a fumble since his arm was moving forward. Either way, it was a turnover. But I feel like Kirk's performance was fine. I know that people are going to light him up for the checkdowns too, but I think that the Bears defense actually did a very good job on Sunday, despite them being one of the worst units in the league so far this season. And it's a whole thing too. It's like 3rd and 20. Like, well, why is he checking it down? Where do you think the defenders are? Like, do you think they're just 4 yards off the ball and playing, the hook curl zones, or do you think that they're sitting back literally 18, 20 yards off of the ball? Would you rather he throws the interception into double or triple coverage, or is like, hey, I'm going to dump it off where the defense is giving me space, and maybe my guy can make one guy miss, and we'll go from there. It's 4th and 8 against the Giants all over again. But Kirk, so the Vikings had 5 drops from what I counted on Sunday, nailed it, and also tack that on to 7 against the Chiefs. And so the Vikings receivers really did Kirk no favors, but I think overall he played fine. I would like him to speed up his processing a little bit. Things are going to be a little bit tougher without JJ, but overall, like, Kirk, besides the boneheaded backwards throw, trying to dump it off the Akers, yeah, it's fine. Something that's not fine is the Vikings' injuries. Kevin Seifert, ESPN, who's not Carl Gerbschmidt. Go. Marcus Davenport's ankle injury is to the opposite one that he sprained earlier this season, per Kevin O'Connell. Ezra Cleveland has a midfoot injury that will be evaluated further, O'Connell said. Neither returned after suffering their injuries. And Davenport injured very early in the game. And I did wonder if it was which side the ankle was, because it looked like his left ankle was the one banged up. He was in a walking boot after the game. So you would almost rather it be the original ankle, because then you know what you're working with. But now he literally has 2 injured ankles. So that's not good. And Davenport, I mean, when he's on the field, man, he's a monster, and he certainly does help the Vikings pass rush. It's nice to have a Robin to Danielle Hunter's Batman, but I don't know. But DJ Warren stepping up, so there you go. Ezra has been playing rather well this year, and if Dalton Reiser was going to crack the lineup, I did think that he was going to replace Ed Ingram, but Ezra, again, dinged up with that foot. Could be like a Liz Frank injury, but who knows? We'll get more information today. But Ezra, I mean, has been playing really good. Respect. But it is good that the Vikings do have Dalton Reiser waiting in the wings, and Reisner has played left guard throughout his entire NFL career, and should be good to go if Ezra does miss time. Kevin O'Connell feeding the local media jackals after the game. Kramer, go. Kevin O'Connell mentioned that multiple times that the passing game should have produced more with how Kirk Cousins played. Honestly, with the way Kirk was throwing it today, thought it could have been a much bigger day. Now, that is clearly him calling out drops without calling out drops. And the Vikings, Madison had a couple. Hawk had a big one on third and forever. Addison had one up the sidelines, which I don't know. Like the Addison one, I'm kind of okay with. He was laying out, but he did get two hands on the ball, right? And he took ownership of it. He said this, quote, "I'm gonna say that was a drop. I feel like I gotta keep running up under that, so I'll take that one on me. It was a good rep, good release, but I gotta finish that." So I love that he's taking ownership of the situation too. So the Vikings, they did leave a lot of meat on the bone. It felt like when they were settling for field goals, and it felt like that was going to come back and bite them in the ass when Tyson Bagent, come on, man. But, it's something that they're going to have to work through. And they only had 1 week of practice without JJ, but they're going to have to get used to it over the next 3 games, minimum. Justin Jefferson will not be a part of the Vikings rooster. And then he continued, Kevin Seifert, go. Who's not Carl Gershman. Kevin O'Connell on the Vikings offense, quote, "It was kind of a revolving door of missed assignments from some of our more reliable players. Our guys are excited to get the win, but our offense will be hungry to go back to work and make sure we rectify some of those things." And back when Zimmer was here, back in the day, when the Vikings would win sort of an ugly, close game that was riddled by mistakes, it was the best of both worlds, because obviously the win is great, but then Zimmer could just light into him the following week. Now, I don't think that Kevin O'Connell is going to be lighting into anyone. It's just not his personality. And does he need to find that gear? Maybe. But he was right. Whether it was missed blocking assignments by Hawkinson and Oliver on the one with the result in the Cousins fumble, or the Madison missing a couple of blocking assignments, or the drops all over the place. And there was a lot of things where the Vikings had self-inflicted wounds that weren't as bad as in previous games, but it did keep it close, and the Bears did hang around. They had a shot to win at the end before the defense stepped up. Speaking of defense stepping up, so Danielle Hunter, 2 sacks, and he had Justin Fields' number, man. Daniil's closing speed, even at 29, is still elite, and his senses, his football IQ is off the charts. He's still a physical specimen. He's still a physical freak, and the Vikings need to pay Daniil. It's so stupid. You have a top 5 edge rusher who also plays the run, who is a very solid teammate, is a great leader on that defense. Pay him. Just pay him the damn money, man. Seifert. Danielle Hunter's up to 8 sacks this season, and at the moment it's tied with Steelers TJ for the NFL lead. Steelers have a bye this week, and Danielle, he's been getting after it, and he's showing that he's healthy, knocking on all the wood, and he's showing that he's still elite. So I think the Vikings, they can't tag him this offseason. That's part of his redone deal, but ink him up. Make him one of the highest paid edge rushers in the game. He's a premium player at a premium position, still in his prime. All the P's. Speaking of premium player at a non-premium position, and also maybe past the prime, but Hicks on his birthday had himself a day, man. 10 total tackles. This is from Bucks fan page. 10 total tackles, a touchdown, pass deflection, an interception, a fumble recovery, and 1 win. Hashtag off-ball linebacker wins. But Jordan Hicks, Pride of Texas, hook him, baby. So, some questioned, including myself. The Vikings redid his deal, brought back the veteran, but he's been a great leader. He's been a tackling machine, a second on the team in tackles, and made some big-time plays against the Bears. He had the interception, had the scoop and score for 6, and I think that he should be the NFC Defensive Player of the Week. So that's a great honor, and Hicks is playing out of his mind good this year, man. Love it. The opposite of how Jordan Hicks is playing linebacker is the Vikings running game. So Kramer, go. Put Vikings run game on a milk carton, non-quarterback combined for 20 carries, 51 yards. Vikings Steelers remain the NFL's only two teams without a rushing touchdown. The offense, 10 runs of 10-plus yards, all came versus the Chargers and the Panthers. None versus Bucks, Eagles, Chiefs, or Bears. And it's a problem. And people just point the finger at Madison. But Madison can be part of the solution. I think there's been a lot of issues up front, even though the offensive line generally has been good at run blocking this year. Madison, maybe he doesn't have the explosiveness of a Ty Chandler or a Cam Akers at this point, so maybe Akers or Chandler should be getting a little bit more work. And it just seems like there's frustration. You can tell, they're running a little bit tight, and they're thinking about not fumbling. And, the fact that they can't close out in the red zone, it's really disturbing. It is something that the Vikings, because the run game, the Vikings need to lean on with JJ out. I think that the offense needs to transform itself a little bit more to a run-based attack, and Kirk Cousins hitting off a play action, which he's very adept at, and then taking shots downfield with Hockenson up the seams and Addison outside. But they got to get it going. The Bears, fine, we're middle of the pack in terms of against the run, but you still have to impose your will. And frankly, a little bit of a change of pace with Akers in there, mixed in with Madison, does make a ton of sense. But that's it. That is the Monday Vikings news dump. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Put a little something in the Venmo. But until next time, Skol, production value.